Alright, new commander to the channel. Don't say I never give you anything. Damia, Sage of Stone versus Azusa, Lost But Seeking. See how long it takes us to fall to Eldrazi. We're going to keep this because we have lands in hand. And we have things to do on turn 2, 3 and 4. And our opponent going for a slow land, which is fine with me. So I assume they're going to play Crucible of Worlds at some point in this game. And take advantage of the persistent mana that they can generate with that. Yeah, we will go for... We need green, so we'll go for a blue-green source in Breeding Pool. Play that out tapped. Where are we? Breeding Pool. Play that tapped and pass to our opponent. Yeah, Azusa Lost But Seeking is a 1-2. You may play 2 additional land cards in each of your turns. Tends to just ramp like crazy, plays like 60 lands in the deck, and goes into things like Eldrazi and other big scary creatures. We will go for a Lightning Greaves here, I think, just for the sake of having something to do. It may well eat artifact removal, but not the end of the world if it does that, really. Yeah, and Damia, Sage of Stone, is a 4/4 Death Toucher for 7 mana. You skip your draw step, but at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in hand, you draw up to 7. Our opponent playing a Solemn Simulacrum, which arguably should be in every commander deck along with Sol Ring. Draw into our own Solemn Simulacrum, which we can't play, but we can get down the... Yeah, we can get a second black source down and go for the Wood Elves for another green and blue source, I think. This deck tends to care about blue sources more, so whenever I get the choice, once my mana's fixed, I tend to go for more blue sources, although would I rather get down a Shockland? Yeah, we can get the Tropical Island with the fetch next turn, so I'll get down the Shockland now. And I'll just put the Lightning Greaves on here so our opponent can't keep us from chumping with it. Not likely that they will in green, but you never know. Yeah, Damia Sage of Stone is a control build. We tend to ramp a lot, and then I don't know if it is necessarily a control build, to be honest. There is some control elements to it, but it tends to be just our opponent going for Acidic Slime, probably on one of our lands, although it might be on Lightning Greaves. Yeah, it tends to be Sultai good stuff also, to be honest. So it has control elements, counter magic and things like that, but there isn't a hell of a lot of targeted removal or card discarding our opponent's cards or anything like that, forcing our opponents to discard cards. So yeah, that's the type of thing that we want to be doing in the deck. I think we just go for a Solemn here, to be honest. And then if our opponent decides to swing in with that Acidic Slime, which they probably will. Props to our opponent for not getting rid of a land, by the way. I don't know if they did that to be a good sport, or if they just feared the Lightning Greaves more than anything else on the field. We'll go for a Forest, just in case we can't play or we can't make use of any more basic lands. I don't know what green would play to keep us from being able to activate basic land mana abilities, but it's just a good habit to get into, is to get a few basics out there, just in case someone gets something out like a Blood Moon. Obviously Azusa won't be doing that, but it's just force of habit. And our opponent going for a Nissa Worldbreaker, so the first Planeswalker of the game. And oftentimes by now Azusa will just ramp like crazy. They can untap up to 4 forests with Nissa, so effectively making her free. And then Nissa Vital Force, very, very good card. I've sung this card's praises in videos before. Use it to great effect in Tatyova. Have a Tatyova playlist on this channel, and Nissa Vital Force features prominently on that. She's very, very good, very underrated. And did they not activate her? She should be at 6 now. Yeah, I think somehow our opponent forgot to activate that. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We will go, I think we'll go for a Jace the Mind Sculptor. And then swing in with the Solemn at the Vital Force. We'll bounce Solemn, much as it pains me to bounce Solemn because of the advantage that they can get from that. I just really don't want Nissa Vital Force to get the old Limit Break off, because especially in an Azusa deck. Is our opponent gonna... Okay, well, we at least get rid of the Acidic Slime, so... and draw a card, so that's not horrendous. We still have a means of... Oh, Grave Titan's an excellent draw. Yeah, I really don't want our opponent to get the Limit Break off on Vital Force, because they get an emblem. Should be the turn after she comes out, but our opponent didn't plus her for some reason. So it should be this turn that the emblem's coming out. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. And in an Azusa deck where you're playing multiple lands a turn, it's just excellent card advantage for you. Superb commander card, superb planeswalker. My opponent's got out a Thran Dynamo. So how much mana is that now? That's the 4 target forests untapped, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mana that our opponent can produce now. Oh, and then 16 if they untap the enchanted land. So, yeah, our opponent getting the Acidic Slime. Oh, right, they got the Acidic Slime back with Nissa Vital Force, so... Yeah, that's unfortunate, but... Yeah, I think I'd trade a land for not seeing a Limit Break go off on this thing, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm actually fine with that, them getting the Acidic Slime back. They blew up our breeding pool, so they're going for our green mana, so we will just get out of forest. That's exactly the type of thing I'm talking about when our opponent's taken out our non-basic lands. We would only have one forest now. So we'll go for... I think we'll go for a Brainstorm here with the Jace and see if we can get into anything to deal with these pesky creatures. Do we have anything for Snapcaster? We do not. But we do have Disallow in hand. Song of the Dryads isn't horrendous either. I think we can put... Ooh, this is tough. I think we can put Snapcaster and then the Footed Strand on top, play that next turn, and then shuffle anything away that we don't like. But as for now, what to do? Crush of Tentacles returns everything, but I like to do that and get the token out. What we could do is just get Arcanis into play. I think we do that. Our opponent only has 2 cards in hand, so I think we'll just sit back and hope that they don't have anything superb to play next turn with all that mana that they have. We'll of course have 3 cards next turn, but we can chump the Acidic Slime with the Wood Elves and kill the Solemn with Arcanis, although our opponent will be able to animate a forest into a 5/5 and swing in at Jace, so might be that Jace is done next turn, but we at least got some advantage out of it. Yeah, a bit of a tricky situation against these Planeswalkers. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that they changed the Planeswalker rule, so they make them legendary, which is fair enough. It makes Captain Sisay even better than she already was, but that's by the by. But I don't like this thing that you can have 2 Nissas out at the same time, or 2 Obnixilis, or whatever creature it is, 2 Jaces, or multiple Jaces, Yeah, I don't like that. I'd rather that our opponent, Azusa in this case, would be forced to play a Garrick and a Nissa and whatever mono green planeswalkers there are. Yeah, I don't like the fact that you can get 2 Nissas out. I don't know, there's something off about that. Our opponent is just sitting back and thinking with the 3 cards in hand and a boatload of mana on the board, so that is worrying. Might have been that the play should have been to keep up Disallow and hold on to the Snapcaster. Right, and our opponent just scoops this. Oh, it's frustrating. Well, I'll see how the recordings go for the rest of the evening. I am looking to get another, not necessarily short game, but something to splice onto another Damia video. So this might be it. You'll obviously know whether it is or not, depending on if you're watching it or not. So you are listening to the EDH channel, you're watching the EDH channel, you're not listening to it, this isn't a podcast. I'm the dejected tribalkai, and I thank you all very much for watching this game, if you can call it that. Thank you. Damia, Sage of Stone versus the Ur Dragon. Yeah, new commander to the channel. We are knocking this back because that's not great, but I'm going to keep it just because it has lands, and I'm going to put that on the top as well. Yeah, I've noticed that usually if you mulligan, you don't tend to get lands, you tend to get punished for that on Magic Online for some reason. But yeah, anyway, the Damia Sage of Stone deck is a deck that I've been running for a long time on Magic Online, but have yet to play it on the channel, so hopefully this goes well against the very powerful Dragon. I think we just go for something good with the Demonic Tutor. Probably just try and ramp into Damia at this point, seeing as how we don't, or even the Consecrated Sphinx, seeing as how we don't have much in the hand. We'll just go for a Soul Ring off of that and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, the Ur Dragon has Eminence. As long as the Ur Dragon is in the command zone, other dragon spells cost 1 less to cast. It's a 10/10 with flying, and it has something else which I will discuss after this. Do we go for the Soul Ring now? And then it means that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana next turn. I think we have to just have the Soul Ring sit out here for a turn. And we can at least pretend that we're holding up counter magic. Yeah, 10/10 flyer, it's Wooburgen 4, so 9 mana. And whenever one or more dragons you control attack, draw that many cards, then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So similar in a way to our deck that we want to ramp up to our commander. Green Sun Zenith for 3 from our opponent. Yeah, we are also ramping up to our commander so that we can get some card draw on the go. 4/4 with Death Touch for 7 mana. We skip our draw step, but at the beginning of our upkeep, if we have fewer than 7 cards in hand, we draw up to 7. And our opponent's gone for a Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. We are just going to get down this Consecrated Sphinx and hope that we draw into some green. And we trigger the Selvala. And what is this that we're being asked to use? Its controller may draw a card. Oh yes, I would very much like to draw a card, thank you. Yeah, I've played against Selvala a lot, but I've not enough to actually remember what it does. Yes, we want to use the Sphinx's ability. We get some green there, which is good. So we can at least use some of this artifact removal if we need to. Ley Line of Anticipation is very nice as well. And our opponent's gone for a Dragon Lord Ojitai. And they draw a card with that, so we get to draw a couple as well. Mystic Confluence, very nice. Could do with another green source, and then it looks like we're fairly set. And our opponent tapping for another green mana. And then going for Wooburg off of this? No. Going for 5 mana to play out Taigam Ojutai Master. We draw into a board wipe, which is not horrendous. Do we actually play that board wipe now? 6, 7, 8, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 with the Ancient Tomb. I think we might just play that board wipe, you know. Great as it is to have the Consecrated Sphinx, our opponent's going to get some great advantage with these cards whenever they attack in with the Dragon Lord. Yeah, and then we can always get Consecrated Sphinx back with the Eternal Witness, assuming we draw into more green mana at some point. Yeah, I actually don't think this is a terrible play. Well, I'll tell you what, instead of jumping the gun, why don't I just try and swing in first? Worst case scenario, we get rid of Dragon Lord Ojutai, or we only deal 4 damage. I don't think they'll block. Yeah, so 3-4 damage there before we wipe the board. I'm not sure if we would have wiped the board if we'd gotten rid of the Dragon Lord there, but to be honest, I do want to get rid of the Selvala as well. And we get into a command tower, so yeah, that's excellent. That's our mana fixed. We'll get rid of 2 basics. We'll get rid of that, the Yavimaya Elder, and what else? Yeah, I think we can afford to get rid of the Unravel the Ether because we have Reclamation Sage in play. I think we might have taken this from our opponent because they do rely heavily, we can bring the commanders back out now, they rely heavily on getting the Ur Dragon out, I think. We'll play the command tower, and I think we can sit back on Leyline of Anticipation. Have I overpaid for that? I have overpaid for that. There we go, and we can hold up, oh, we can actually hold up Mystic Confluence as well, so yeah, great. But Damia is, we got lucky with the hand there. I think we got into the Consecrated Sphinx, which really turned the game around for us. But this is what Damia wants to do. You want to usually control the board. Our opponent's saying that they're mana screwed, but good for them for playing it out anyway. Yeah, we want to control the early game and then get into big creatures like Grave Titan and things like that as the game progresses. We have another green source, so that is excellent. I think we'll just go for... What do we go for? I think we can... I don't want to play Jace the Mind Sculptor because I have a feeling that our opponent will just scoop to that. We'll get a Grave Titan out on at the end of our opponent's turn. But yeah, oftentimes you don't even play Damia. A lot of the times we do play Damia in this deck, but oh, Economy Rector, yeah, that's well worth countering. We'll cast that, and we'll draw a couple of cards, and that's the only target for us. Yeah, sometimes you don't even end up playing out the Damia, but in this case we are going to. Our opponent says GG, and that is the game. Yeah, not the most thrilling game, but it does showcase what Damia can do. Depending on how long this video is, I'm not actually sure how long. May well splice another one onto the end of this or at the beginning of this. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.